top 4 things you are doing that is making your child not listen. You phrase everything as a question, okay? If it's not a question, don't ask the question. If it's a non-negotiable, do not phrase it as a question. Parenting from across the room. You are not close enough. If you are not in arm's distance, do not give a direction. You give vague commands with no extra support. You need to tell your child specifically what to do, and if they're not doing it, you need to break it down more. You use negative or threatening language that triggers resistance, and then you co-escalate with your kid. So let's break this down piece by piece. What is actually happening for your child when you ask a question? Okay, your child processes it as a question. Ready to take a bath? It's a question. They're going to answer yes or no. Adults do this because they're trying to be polite, but your child thought it was a question. So then what happens is it's actually not a non-negotiable, and so you say, no, we have to go now. So now you're forcing them. And what did you just teach your child? You taught them that their voice does not matter. And if their voice doesn't matter, why should they listen to your voice? Makes no sense. That wasn't what you wanted to ask your child. So if it's a non-negotiable, I want you to say, bath time. Just give the direction with a period and then add extra supports. For those of you who are parenting across the room, no wonder your child can't cooperate. You're not close enough to help them process the cue. And if they are engaged in something else, especially if that something else is a screen, this is a brain, they're going to stay with that thing, and then you're going to get madder and madder because you're like, I've already told you to do this. And they're like, I'm not even processing or listening because you're way too far away for me to do that. Your child needs you to get close. If you are across the room, you're not close enough. You need to be able to touch your child in order to get them to listen. Many parents tell me, but they do understand. And they're giving commands that are just very general. Don't fly the drone in the kitchen, the ceilings are low. It's not clear what they're supposed to do. You need to tell them exactly what to do. Even if you give a command like, we need to go out to the car. If your child is sitting at a table, they may need you to make it smaller. Stand up, chair in, one foot, the other foot. Okay, so you need to break it down into small chunks. And these chunks should match your child's age and profile. If your kid isn't moving, even if they are a teenager, they need smaller chunks for you to get closer and for you to watch your language. And number 4, negative or threatening language that triggers resistance. Don't you want your child to come with you? And if you do want your child to come with you, you need to keep them in the prefrontal cortex. And keeping them here in the prefrontal cortex means not using language like not. It means not saying, don't go over there. It means not using tone. It means taking care of yourself so that you can deliver the information in a way that is easygoing, expected air of cooperation. Like, here we go. This is just what we do in our family. We don't need to resist. I definitely don't want to lay a rope down or get into a battle where then my child is one-upping and escalating me and we're going verbal back and forth and I'm trying to tell them to stop and they're not stopping. Almost all the time, when a family comes to me and tells me their child is not listening, they're doing one or more of these. Which ones are you doing?